Okay, so good day everyone. We have here our topic of frequency, frequency and waveform. Okay, so frequency and waveform for your subject EE312 Introduction to Electronic Communication. Okay, so to introduction to electronic communication. Okay, so electronic communication. Okay, so that is your topic for today. Okay, so let's say you have your example. uh, what do we mean by 24 volts? Okay, so 24 volts, 60 hertz AC. Okay, question mark. So what do we mean by 24 volts, 60 hertz AC? Okay, so let's discuss this question. Okay, in our discussion, previous discussion, we discussed the y equals to uh, x sine theta, and the other one is y equals to x cosine theta. Okay, where x is your amplitude. X is your amplitude. Okay, so x is your amplitude and theta is your period. Okay, so theta is your period. Okay, so we have here another formula. Another formula is F is equals to 1 over time. And another formula, we have your angular frequency is 2 pi f, and the unit is radians per second. The next relationship of period and angular frequency, you have here P is equal to W times T. Okay? Where P is your period or one cycle of a signal, or period is the period is your cycle of a signal, or the unit is in degrees. Okay, in degrees. Okay, so 24 volts, 60 hertz AC. We're going to solve for F. So solution. You have your T. T is equals to 1 over F, which is equals to 1 over 60 hertz. And the answer is, of course, use your calculator. So that is 0.01667 seconds. That is your T. Okay? And your angular frequency is equals to 2 pi f, that is in radians per second. Okay? Radians per second. And that will be 2 pi times 60 hertz. Okay, 2 pi times 60 hertz, and that will be 120 pi radians, 125 radians per second. Okay? So this is your angular frequency. Next, solving for P. So P is equals to WT, and we have 125 radians per second multiplied to 0.01667 second a second. So we have cancel out. So your answer is approximately, or your answer is 2.0004 pi radians. Okay. So this is your answer, or approximately, P is approximately 2 pi radians. Okay, so 2 pi radians, then multiplied to 180 degrees is equals to pi radians. So cancel, and your P is equals to 360 degrees. Okay, so what do we mean by this uh, solution? Your P is 360 degrees. Your T is 0.01667 seconds, and your angular frequency is 125 radians per second. Okay? So now let's draw the waveform, the sine and cosine waveform. Okay? So what we have here is sine problem is, this is 24 volts slash 60 hertz AC. Okay. So let's draw the waveform. Y is equals to x sine theta. Okay. So this is your y-axis. This is your y-axis of this is your voltage level. And this is your time or your degrees. Okay, so this is your angle P in degrees. Okay. So we have here your P. P is equals to 360 degrees and divided by 4. So meaning 360 degrees divided by 4, and that is 90. Okay, so 90 degrees. So meaning this is 0 degrees. This is 90 degrees. Next, this is 180 degrees. Next is 270 degrees. Next is 360 degrees. Okay. Then we are going to solve for y equals to your x is your 24 volts. That is your amplitude. Okay. So x sine, okay, so y equals to 24 sine 0 degrees, that will be sine 0 is 0 times 24, and that is 0 volts. Okay, so meaning that is 0 volts. The next, y equals to 24 sine 90 degrees, and sine 90 is 1. Sine 90 is 1 times 24, and that will be 24 volts. So meaning this is our positive 24 volts. So this is 24 volts for 90 degrees. Next, y equals to 24 sine 180, and sine 180 is 0 times 24, and that will be 0 volts. So therefore, this is your sine 180 times 24. The next, we are going to solve for y equals to 24 sine 270. Okay, degrees. Sine 270 is that is negative 1 times 24, so we have negative 24 volts. So this is negative 24 volts. Okay, so negative 24 volts. This is the minimum, or this is your Trough. Okay, Trough, and this is your Crest. Okay. The next we're going to solve for. Next is we are going to solve for 24 sine 360 degrees, and that is sine 360 is 0 times 24, that will be 0 volts. Okay, so meaning in your waveform 360 degrees, that is 0. So we are going to draw the waveform now. So this is your waveform. Okay, okay. So this is the trough, this is the crest, and therefore this is your, okay, so this is your one cycle of the signal, and the period is 360 degrees. Okay, so that is 24 volts, 60 hertz AC. Okay, now next is we are going to solve for the cosine waveform. Okay, so 24 volts, 60 hertz AC. Okay, so this is your theta in degrees. This is your Y, or your voltage. Okay, so we have here Y. Okay, so Y, we are going to solve for Y equals to 24 cosine 0 degrees, and that is cosine 0 is negative 1 times 24, so we have 24 volts. Okay, next is y equals to, so this is 0, this is 0, this is 90, this is 180, this is 270, and this is 360. Okay, so 24 cosine 0, and that is 24 volts. So therefore, this is your positive 24 volts. Okay. Next, 24 cosine 90, and cosine 90 is 0. So we have 0 volts. Okay. So therefore, this is 0 volts for cosine 90. The next, y is equals to 24 cosine 180, and that will be negative 1 times 24, and that will be negative 24 volts. So this is your negative 24 volts. Okay, so this is positive 24 volts. Okay, so 24 volts. 24 volts positive. This is negative 24 volts. So this is your negative 24 volts. The next, y equals to 24 cosine 270, and that is cosine 270 is 0 times 24, and this is 0 volts. So this is your cosine 270. Okay. The next, this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, and this is the x-axis. Or this is the voltage, and this is the angle in degrees. The next, y equals to 24 times cosine 360 degrees, and that is positive 1. Cosine 360 is positive 1 times 24, and that will be 24 volts. Okay, so we have here your 24 volts. Okay, so your waveform is like this. Okay, so this is now your waveform. Okay, so this is your crest. This is also your crest, and this is your trough. Okay, this is your trough. Okay, so therefore this is your one cycle, or one period, which is equals to 360 degrees. This is now your cosine waveform. This is a cosine. This is what we call the cosine waveform. Okay. The other one is your sine waveform. Okay. The other one is your sine waveform. This is the sine waveform. Okay. This is the sine waveform. This is your trough. This is your crest. Okay. So I hope you understand the discussion through this video, and God bless us all. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to our channel. So thank you for watching.